Hello, pretty people. All the pretty people say hi, Teresa. Let me know you're in the building. It's Wednesday, and what do we do on Wednesday? A quick live Q&A every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. in my Business Tips, Motivation, and Inspiration group. And so those of you that are in the group, whoop, whoop, you are part of the pretty community. Hashtag to all the pretty people. Hashtag to all the pretty people. How is your Wednesday going? Every Wednesday, I am live in my Business Tips, Motivation, and Inspiration group. And so if you want to be a part of that pretty community, make sure that you go to groups and do search Business Tips, Motivation, and Inspiration, because in the group is where you get to come on live and get this one-on-one coaching. And so you don't want to miss all this goodness. So every Wednesday night at 8, I do a live Q&A. And so we're going to have our TikTok family in the building, my Instagram family in the building. I'm going to walk on the treadmill at the same time. I know, right? So I got to finish my workout. So if you follow me, then you already know that I do 7,000 to 10,000 steps. We drink 1 liter of water and we take 2 shots of the liquid gold. So if you don't have the liquid gold, what are you waiting for? The liquid gold changed my life last year. And so I started taking 2 shots, one in the morning, one in the evening. And it actually promotes stronger, healthier bones, joints, tendons, ligaments, connective tissues. Yes, even we have formulas for your gut, your digestion. I love Formula 5 because it gives me more energy, stamina, and mental focus. And so, yes, I've been raving about this since last year. So get your 2 shots. So, yes, we're going to walk on the treadmill, finish up our 7,000 to 10,000 steps. I know. Let's get our step on. And so, yes, we're on a TikTok in the building. So, of course, if you're not following me on TikTok, you probably need to follow me over here because this is where it really goes down. Like TikTok and I, we have a different relationship than Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So you can pretty much do almost anything over here. You can play music, right? You can't, and I like that. I can work out with them. I go to the park with them. I ride the bike with them. I do all the things with my TikTokers. So yes, so if you're not following me on TikTok, might be a good place to start. And so yes, we're gonna make sure everybody's in the building. Hello, gorgeous. Say hi, Jerusha. So I have a great training for you tonight. And so every Wednesday night, I'm here to share actionable business tips, tools, hacks, strategies, marketing, branding, upselling, all the things that you really need to build a business or maintain your current businesses. So I'm the business coach that I don't care what you sell, lotions, potions, pots, pans, lashes, nails. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs leads. Real estate, you need leads. Financial advisors, insurance, you need leads. And so I definitely love training about how it's possible to build an entire business using social media. So social media is a tool. We use tools, okay? Use a tool. This is a tool. And so on Wednesday night, I'm here to share what I know for sure. So if you love this type of business tips, make sure you are present. Yes, go ahead. Do me a favor. If you are a newbie, put newbie in the chat. If you are a newbie, put newbie. Make sure you follow. If you're on TikTok, at least tap the screen saying, hi, Jerusha. So hashtags to all the pretty people. Woo, woo. Got on my pretty people tea today. So we'll get our workout on. I'm going to answer business questions. I won't have a guest tonight. So I try to have a guest at least once or twice a month. So if you want to be a guest and get that one-on-one coaching, you have to be a part of the Business Tips, Motivation, and Inspiration group. So all you got to do is be a part of the group. Obviously, if you don't have a business, you can still be a part of the group. It doesn't matter if you have a business or you don't. The point is you want to learn how to be successful and you want to learn how to market and brand. So you're attracting leads using social media. And so I'm happy to share with you what I know for sure and how I grew this account to over 150,000 followers in a short period of time. And even TikTok almost at 50,000 followers. So there is systems to success, okay? There are no secrets to success. So I'm happy to share with you what I know for sure. If you have a business question, you can put it in the chat. If I see your question, I'm happy to answer. But I already have a question from somebody in the group. Obviously, I will just answer that question for you. And then if you don't want to go live, I'll message you privately. That's totally fine. I know some people still are afraid of the lives. They're afraid of the lives. And I'm going to tell you, you better get unafraid because guess what? This is the fastest way to get in front of more people is actually doing short form video and going live. It is the fastest way. It is proven that it is the fastest way. And I just want you to know what's available. Okay. You don't have to do it, but at least you can say, well, I knew it was available. I chose not to. And so as adults, we make choices. We all make choices. And so I decided, let me go online. I was offline. So if you don't know my story, I actually started building my business offline for many years. So I'm not new to entrepreneurship. Successfully built a business offline. Years. I'm talking face-to-face conversations. I'm talking networking events. I'm talking shaking hands. I'm talking writing down names and numbers. I'm talking about exchanging business cards. I'm talking about the hard work. Okay, you guys have the easy work. Message somebody on social media. Voice message somebody on social media. That is the easy work. Okay, so don't come for me. It is so much easier to build online than offline. I promise you it is. It is. And so if you have not done that type of work offline, you have no idea what it takes, and getting facilities and putting money up front and getting leases. Like, you have no idea what it takes to build a successful business offline. So that's why I've always been encouraging people to build something online. Even if you want to make an extra $300, $400, $500, this is the way that you can do it faster than you could have in the past. And so this is all about evolving, and it's all about change. You either, yes, thank you so much. Tap the screen, say hi, Derecha. Hey, Cammie, how you doing? Hey, Valerie, how you doing? And so when I started my business, I started on a part-time basis, worked in corporate America. My degrees are in communications and public relations. I knew I was going to speak for a living, so that's why I went in radio and television. What made me change? Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate the love. What made me switch was I decided that I wanted to have a family. I'm like, I didn't have a family and the white picket fence and all the things, which is a great decision. And when I did that, I didn't know my son was going to be a preemie, which forced me to want to be more present, more at home, but not a stay-at-home mom, but where I could care for him in the time that I wanted to care for him. And so the best way to do that was I had to start a business. I was like, well, what am I going to do? And so if you don't know this, my first attempt to a business was actually interior decorating, which I love to do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to choose, something I already want to do, which was interior decorating. And so I started, decorating people's bathrooms and dens and things of that nature. And it was this beautiful community. This girl, her mother allowed me to decorate their den and a couple of rooms. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. But she was my only high ticket client. So I was like, well, I can't quit my job for one client. Right. But it was a very good experience. And so as I was still open to the possibilities, this is what people don't understand. I was always open because I was looking for the flexibility. I was looking for time. I was looking, how can I create my own schedule? Now, I didn't know anything about all of these home-based businesses, right? So that's why I said my initial thought was, okay, I could do interior decorating. So let me get, a license certificate to do that. Okay, that was my first attempt. And so never sold anything before, wasn't familiar with sales at all. And so I decided, okay, let's dive into it. And I had a portfolio of the work that I had done in different bathrooms and dens. And that's all I had, right? And so I'm going to tell you, this is why I know you don't talk to everybody. And I think that's why I became a networking queen, a recruiting queen, starting conversations. I became a queen at doing it because nobody spoke to me. No one spoke to me about their home-based businesses, not one person. And maybe it's because they knew I worked in corporate America. I worked for, a major news network, and maybe they thought, well, she's set. But they didn't know internally I was suffering because I didn't want to go to an office. I didn't want to go to a cubicle. I wanted to be home with my son. So they didn't know that. And so because I enjoyed what I was doing. And so the first person that spoke to me, her name is Kathy. I will forever be indebted to her. She spoke to me. I was shopping for my son, and my son was a toddler at the time. And she said something about home-based business, something about people making money from home, which I had no idea at that level. I thought, I didn't think they were making a lot of money. I didn't know what they were doing. And so this is how I know people aren't educated. This is how I know people don't understand structure. This is how I know people don't listen to comp plans. They don't listen. They don't know, because I had no idea. But the difference between myself and most people is I was open. So I didn't shut it down. I didn't automatically accuse her of being a scammer. I didn't do any of those things because I don't know. So what am I doing? So I was open. We exchanged business cards. And at that time, we had these cards. I know the new generation don't even know about cards. They were paper, thick piece of paper with your name, your information, your email. Okay, that's called a business card, a physical card. I know the newbies don't know that, like this new generation. Yes. So we exchanged business cards. I had my corporate card. She had her business card. And so I went back to my office. We scheduled an appointment. And guess what? This is how you steal. I know you don't follow up. I have a follow-up ebook. My follow-up ebook is right here. You can go to my profile, grab it. I have a follow-up ebook for you that gives you an entire year worth of scripts to follow up. I know you don't follow up because that's why most of the money is left on the table. They say the fortune is in the follow-up, but the fellowship is in the follow-up. And so she would call me, set the appointment. I canceled the first time. She followed up again. I came the second time. If she had not followed up, I had so much going on with my son, I probably wouldn't have followed up with her. So typically people are not going to follow up with you. It is your responsibility to follow up with them. She followed up with me. I canceled, right? Whole story. You can listen to that another day. I canceled. My son was sick. So I canceled because my son was sick, which was my first priority. But she didn't know that. You do not know people's situation. You do not know what they're going through. You do not know. You make assumptions. Okay. And so I want you to stop doing that. And so she obviously called me. I said I couldn't come. She followed up with me to reschedule. We rescheduled. I went to the next meeting when my son was better. And she followed up that day to make sure that I was coming. She was doing her due diligence. Like she was following up. I was like, okay. And so she got me to this hotel. And at that time, events were held at beautiful hotels, beautiful conference rooms and things of that nature. And so I went into this huge hotel and all of these professional women were there dressed in professional attire, no leggings, no tennis shoes. I mean, pantyhose, heels. We're talking suits. It was really, really nice. I was like, oh, okay. Now I came from corporate America, so I was dressed like I worked in corporate America. And so I was like, okay, this looked like my type of people. Okay. They were looking real nice. And I said, now let's find out who all these people are. Like, what are we doing? And so they took me to this conference room or whatever in this beautiful hotel. They was introducing me to different people. As they were introducing me to different people, I was clocking it. Like this person worked for IBM. This person worked for Accenture. This person worked for da-da-da. And people, highly educated people. This person was a doctor. This person was a that. And so they were introducing. And now I know, being in business, that it does help the credibility, the quality of the people that you're trying to work with. And so at that time, I didn't realize that's really a system. The system is, let's introduce you to some people, right, that are quality professionals that you're probably going to respect. That's now, not only are you a doctor or a physician or a pharmacist or a principal, but you also have a side business. And see, I had never done that before. And so that was new. Oh, I'm supposed to be walking on the treadmill. Hold on. And so, we got to walk. And so I was like, I wouldn't imagine that these people would have a home-based business, because you just assume, and I did well in corporate America, that if you're doing what people consider well, you don't have another thing. That's a lie. Everybody should have another thing. Every single person should have another thing. And so I didn't know that people were working corporate jobs, highly professional jobs, and then they had a side hustle. And so I was like, okay, this is different. So they took me to this conference room, and then this lady was speaking, and the lady was a multimillionaire. And so this lady was doing this presentation. She was talking about her background. She was talking about, the earnings, the comp plan, her vacations. She was just talking about her experience. And I was thinking, I never heard of this before. Okay. But I'm not like a lot of you. I am actually more optimistic than a lot of people, because I was like, I could do it. As soon as I heard it, I was like, this is all they're doing. Now, I did think, man, this can't be all they're doing. There were some people who didn't have degrees. There were some people who were just, there was no background, right? And I was just thinking, all types of people are here. I've never seen this before. And I was thinking, man, I could do it. I didn't have any doubt. I didn't go ask the world, should I get started? I didn't go see what my cousin did. I didn't care because I don't base my success or failure on what somebody else did. You better write that down. So it didn't matter to me who did it, who didn't do it, who started it, who said it was a pyramid, who said it wouldn't work. It did not matter. It was going to solve my problem. And so I quickly understood I need to learn the skill because it's going to solve my problem. My problem is I don't want to come to corporate America. My problem is I don't want to drive in traffic. My problem is I don't want to daycare my son. That's my problem. And you're telling me that I can earn an executive level income doing what you're doing right now? I mean, that was my thought because I'm thinking I work so much harder in doing what I'm doing in radio and television. And you're saying you just network, meet some people, invite them to a hotel, they get some information and they start a business. I promise you that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, this is so easy. So I was too dumb to doubt. I was the person like, oh yeah, I'm going to the top like this. And I went to the top because I was like, this is not harder than what I'm doing. Okay. And so they had all the systems set up. So they had someone who were doing the product presentation. They had somebody else doing what they call like a introductory kind of orientation. They had somebody doing the initial presentation. So the systems were set up. There were professionals doing every single part of it. You really were just bringing people to the hotel. And I was like, how are you meeting these people? Remember, I just told you I never sold anything before. No one ever asked me to be in a little business. No one. And so the first person who did, I was like, yeah, yes, had no doubt in my mind. And so, whole little story about that. And so they said, well, you're going to have to come to meetings to learn, how to run a business. And so I was thinking, okay, well, when are the meetings? Remember, I told you my son was a priority, right? So I was like, well, when are the meetings? They were like after work, the meetings are like 6:30. So I was like, okay, news is unpredictable, but I should make it. I might be late because it could be breaking news and then I can't come. But for the most part, 6:30. All right. And they say every time you come, you should bring somebody so they can hear the opportunity. And I was thinking, how am I going to meet these people? Right? Because at my corporate job, I wasn't going to go tell people there. I was like, it got to be some other people. And I promise you, I am one of the top producers, influencers, leaders, speakers. I meet strangers. I built my entire organization, first one and second one, strangers. Because the people that are going to help you go to your next level, you haven't even met them yet. You can write that down. Say, business coach Jerusha said, I haven't even met them yet. And so I was okay with meeting new people. Now, I know a lot of you are afraid of meeting new people, but you say you want to help people. You say you want to work with people. You want to collaborate with people, but you're afraid to meet new people. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out. So I was like, okay, how am I going to meet all these people that I'm going to help come get educated? My thought process was, I need to educate as many people as possible. I was like, people don't even know that this is possible. When I was working in corporate, I was like, they can't know people are earning 6 figures working from home. It's no way people know this. It must be a small group of people because the people in my circle don't know that this is available. And so I said, okay, how can I learn how to meet these new people? So they had trainers who would take you out and teach you how to meet strangers. Now, that means learning a script. That means networking face to face. That means getting names and numbers. That's what that means. So I was like, okay, if you could talk to one of my coaches at that time, she would tell you. I was like, okay, tell me what to say. And she didn't even believe me the first time we went out and I got names and numbers. And she was like, well, let me see them. She didn't even believe I got them. I was like, yeah. I just walked up, said what you say. And it's funny because I was like, I'm saying what you told me to say. And I got the name and number. And she still didn't believe it. Because it really actually came easy for me. Like easier than I would have imagined. Because one, I believed it. I really believed everybody should know about it. Even if they said I'm not interested, once they learned about it, I was like, every single person should know about this business. Every woman should know they have options. And so I was on a mission just to tell the world, hey girl, how you doing, Tiff? I was on a mission to tell the world. I was like, I'm gonna tell everybody, this is what we're doing. We're going to the top because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. True story. And so, yes, hey, hello, gorgeous. Say hi, Jerusha. Good to see your beautiful face. And so I was like, all right, cool. Let's go. And so I started recruiting people or inviting people out to our business meetings at this hotel. And I would walk up to strangers. If you heard my story before, this is a good script. You might want to write this down. I'm a master at scripts. And so if you take my course, you'll see you have tons of scripts. There's no way that you can't build if you are actually communicating the right things, right? And have the right attitude. So you got to believe it, obviously, because somebody can give you words, but if you don't believe it, it's still not going to work. So I believed it. And so when I would walk up to someone and I'm like, excuse me, miss, let me ask you a quick question. What do you do for a living? People would just tell me. It was the most unbelievable thing in the world. People would just tell me, oh, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm da 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 da. I was like, okay. I train to teach people how to build their own businesses. I'm Jerusha, I'm expanding. Let me give you my business card. The end. Write that down. I would just walk up and say, excuse me, miss, let me ask you a quick question. What do you do for a living? What's your profession? What industry are you in? I didn't even hesitate. I didn't flinch. I was hungry. I was ready to leave corporate America. I would have did anything that was legal. And so people started giving me their name and number. And at the end of the day, I have 10, 15, 20 names and numbers. I'm like, woo, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Okay. So I have the names and numbers. And I'm like, what do you do next? I got these names and numbers, but I don't know what to do with them. Then they give you another script on how to follow up. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. Woo, woo. Thank you for the love, Luce. And so they gave me follow-up. Then we actually use physical phones. I know a lot of you might not know what that is, but your cell phone, you can actually dial numbers and it'll ring. And a person will hear the ring and they'll pick it up. And so we used to have real conversations like on the phone. And so you would talk to a person. Now, I know that's a new concept to you because we only text today and message and messenger. So this was high level when you actually lose your communication and your voice and the intellect that you went to school for. You actually was using that. And so now we're talking on the phone and I'm inviting this person out to a business meeting at a hotel. And so I'm inviting this person out. And of course, there was a lot of people. This is what I need you to know. I had to call a lot of people for 5 to show up, for 10 to show up, for 3 to show up, because people lie. Numbers never lie. People do. You can write that down. Numbers never lie. People do. And so now I have to call a lot of people, book 10, 20 people to show up, 3 show up, 5 show up. But every meeting, pretty much, I had somebody showing up because I was following up. So I got really good at following up, having a system to follow up. So I created a follow-up sequence. I created a way where I could keep up with the people. I would leave notes when I followed up, how many days I should follow up from the last message. So I put a follow-up ebook together. It's right here in my profile. You can grab it. It gives you an entire year of follow-up scripts, a whole year. It's only $9. You got it. Okay. And I put it all together over the years, everything that has worked in following up with people. So you can grab that. It's a little ebook, real simple, easy to follow, all the things. If you get in a 3-day ride, it's a part of the 3-day ride. But anyway, so I will follow up with these people on a physical phone and they would answer, book them, get to the meeting. They would meet me, or if they stood me up, they didn't show up. Yes, that happens. It still happens today. People schedule themselves today because I have automation. Like right now, you could schedule yourself. I'm helping 1,000 families get started. You can go right there, text me the word open. You're going to automatically receive my calendar, scheduled to see a 12-minute video. You're going to do all of the work. Before, offline, I did all the work. I booked you on my calendar. I physically spoke to you. I called you to make sure you were coming 2 and 3 times to make sure you get to the location, that you had the directions. We had to send out directions, email directions. And so this is how we were getting people to come to our physical meetings. All you have to do is automate like I do today. You can schedule yourself anytime that's available. You can watch the 12-minute opportunity video when it's convenient for you, and it tells you to call me afterwards. I'm on the treadmill, somebody's booking right now. I'm on the treadmill, somebody's watching right now. And so this is how I know anybody can build a business. So is that going to be you? That's why I'm helping 1,000 families get started, because it's so much easier to do it through tools like social media, apps, and all the things. So yes, if you want to learn about the 1,000 families, message me 1,000 or go to my profile and text me the word open. You'll automatically receive my calendar. So just imagine how easy it is now. You are doing the work, right? By texting me or by messaging me. Before, offline, I was calling, hanging up, calling, hanging up, calling, hanging up, following up. Yes, trying to make sure that you know how to get to the location for our meeting at 6:30. Okay, yes, I know how to get there. Then they don't show up. The difference is I was driving across town to meet you at 6:30. That means I was getting fully dressed. I was going to an office to meet you, and you don't show up. Over and over and over and over until you get good at it, right? And then you have guests all the time. Not as many as you would like, but I had guests all the time. So that's how I became like this recruiting machine, because I was like, okay, I need to talk to a lot of more people. This is the deal. People will lie. People will stand you up. So if I have enough people, I'll always have guests. And so even though they were interested, even though they wanted to hear the opportunity, life still happens, right? Just like I didn't show up the first time. She could have been dependent on me, got a babysitter to meet me, and I didn't show up. Now, I told her in advance, I still didn't show up though, because I told her my son was sick. You don't know the circumstances, but just imagine before I had to get dressed, leave my home, go across town, get to a meeting, wait for you, make sure everything was presented well, do a presentation, close all the guests. If my team had guests, close all of those guests. Yes, and do that performance 2, 3, 4 times a week, over and over and over, face to face. Now, if someone books themselves at 8 o'clock and they miss their 8 o'clock appointment, guess what happens? The automation sends them a reminder. Hey, you had a scheduled appointment at 8 o'clock. Did you need to reschedule? Now, I don't physically have to call them and say reschedule. I have it set up where it's going to reach back out to them and say, hey, you missed your appointment. And here's my calendar again. And so when I tell you, you can build a business, there's so many ways, just like I've described, that I use to help my 1,000 families. And so when I tell you, if you're open to learning how you can do this thing, you can do it. You got to learn some systems. You got to be open-minded. Yes, if you want to learn about the 1,000, message me 1,000 or text me the word open to that number right there and book yourself for that 12-minute video opportunity, and then we can go from there. But when I tell you, I've been encouraging people in general, start a business. I don't care if you get your real estate license, start something. Start an additional form of income. Start something. You got to have that additional, just in case corporate America lets you down. You got to start. Now, someone will say, yes, business is hard. Everything's hard. Working for somebody else is hard. You know, all the things are hard. And I had my pity parties. The enemy invited me to a pity party and I almost went. Well, I actually went for a little while, but that's how people do. They will see that you are changing and invite you into their misery, and they open the door for you, and they dump their garbage on you. So there have been people who like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, that's hard. Oh, most people don't do well. Oh, that's just 1%. Well, baby, 1% are wealthy right now. And it's 1% at your corporate job right now. So everything that you do, there's a top 1%. So this is no different. The people who work the hardest, right, make the most connections, networking, are the people that typically do well. So if you're not really trying to help people, then you might not want to be in a people's business, because all of this is about you helping people get what they want. And so the enemy starts to make you, think that you're doing something wrong. You're not. The enemy starts to make you think about all the problems and disappointments you've had and are having, so you can become, a part of this pity party, and no one does well. And I've been trying really hard. And what I found, because I'm helping 1,000 families in my years of experience, most people are not working as hard as they think. You're thinking about working, but you're not working as hard as you think you're working. Because if I ask you, tell me your day-to-day, your IPAs for the day, you have very little IPAs. And I work with people. I'm like, what was your income producing activity for today? You spoke to one person. It's not going to make it. What's your income producing activity? You spoke to 2 people. That's not going to make it. Okay. So you're really not working as hard as you think. And I think we have to have that honest conversation with ourselves and stop saying something doesn't work when we haven't worked. You haven't worked at the end of the day. Now, there are some people, okay, who've done all the work, but then there's their attitude. Then there's the mindset. Then there's the doubt. So now they have to work on the other things. And so that was more me. I'm a doer, but I always have to keep working on my mindset. Every day I have to keep working on, okay, what am I striving for? I have to see the bigger picture. I have to envision myself in certain places. I have to see it. I can do the physical part because I have muscle memory. And so once you learn something, it's a part of who you are. I've learned to come on the live. So it's not like thinking about coming on the live. I've learned to come on here. So it's a part of my muscle memory, right? But I have to have the right attitude, right? I got to be able to attract the right people. I still have to believe in what I'm doing. And so those people that are doing the work, but then they have to work on the other areas. So you have to do an evaluation and see which one you are. Are you the person that says, I'm doing the work, but you're really not? Or are you the person that you are doing the work, but you're not doing the personal growth work? You got to have that personal growth first, because your income will rarely exceed your level of personal development. And so that's the part I'm always working on, is my personal development, not the work part, because I have great work ethic. I show up every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. just for you to answer business questions. That part is easy for me. It's the other part, the prayers, the meditations, the, spending time with God, all of those things that I have to do to stay focused. Okay. So was this helpful? Was this helpful to hear other stories that right now is the time for you to build online? Right now, there are so many apps and systems that will help you with your full-time job. Imagine if I had all of these tools. Imagine if I had all these tools earlier on in my career. I would have saved years of work and frustration. But then I don't know if I would have had this type of attitude. So it's like, I'm like, I wish I would have known sooner. I would have made some better choices. So now that you know that you can certainly build a business using social media, having systems in place like the ones I described, grab my follow-up ebook. It's only like $9.97. Everybody should have it. Everybody should have a copy, because you need to know how to follow up. Your money is in the follow-up, okay? The fortune is in the follow-up, but the fellowship is in the follow-up. Hey, Elaine, how you doing? Yes, hello, pretty. Hashtag to all the pretty people. Yes, thank you so much. I've been told you're going to be pitiful or you're going to be powerful, but you're not going to be both. You have to make that decision. Am I going to be a part of the pity party with all the other people who are blaming the systems? Yes, the algorithm is not always in my favor. The algorithm, in my opinion, is set up a little bit, because I have some valuable information, right? Sometimes I've had things go viral and some things don't do well. So what am I going to do about it? Stop? No, I can't stop, because there are people who are getting this information and see it as valuable. So I keep going for those people. So do I think I have no control over the algorithm? I have no control over the system of social media, but I do have control over Jerusha's actions. So I can reach out to you because I see you. No one can stop me from reaching out to you because I see you. So that's my job. That's the job of networking. I choose to network with each person, pivot and keep going. That's right. So I just keep networking with more people. And so whether the system shows 1,000 people my content or it shows 100 people my content, as long as it's 4.8 billion people and I can see you, I can build my own relationships. I can make my own connections. I can build my own rapport because I see your name. So it doesn't stop you from building. So don't use that as an excuse of I only get 100 views, I only get 200 views or 20 views. That doesn't stop you from making connections because you can see the people. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Did that answer your question? Because if you're going to pay, you might as well get a reward for it because you will pay a price to be different. Yes, you're going to pay a price. So I want to make sure that you understand the connections are here, the people are here, the resources are here, the money is here. You just got to go for it. You got to network every single day. So don't worry about you don't have enough followers. You don't have to have enough followers. You don't to actually build some form of income, residual income using this tool. You don't. So don't buy into I don't have 1,000 followers. That's not it. Go make 1,000 connections. Go talk to 1,000 people. Now you're going to have it. Make sense? Yes or yes? Was that good for you? I'm happy to help in any kind of way. Like I said, every Wednesday night, I'm here to answer your business questions, especially if you are part of the Business Tips, Motivation, and Inspiration group. You can come on the live. We could do one-on-one coaching Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And so I'm happy to do all the things. I'll answer you privately, or like I said, I'll teach on that subject, but I don't want you to miss out. Tag your business bestie, share the broadcast, make sure you are present every Wednesday night, set it in your calendar, only for the people that's serious. If you're serious, you're my people, you're my people. You're serious, you're ready to go. And that's how I was. I'm like, I'm serious. So I show up. The difference is those who show up, go up, right? I show up. I show up because I want it. I show up because I believe it. I show up because I'm helping 1,000 families get to the bag. Okay, make some extra money just in case corporate America let you down. So if you want to learn about the 1,000, go ahead, text me the word open, and you'll automatically receive my calendar, and then we can go from there. And so I'm going to continue this training over on TikTok. Me and TikTok got a different relationship. We can dance on TikTok. We can turn on music on TikTok. We can do all the things over here. So I'd love to see your beautiful faces. It's my name, so you can just follow me over here. Thank you so much. Wednesday night, 8 p.m., answering your business questions. I'm just thankful that grace and mercy follow me. I'm Jerusha, and I'll see you on the page. Bye, Facebook. Bye, Instagram. Oh, thank you so much.